In just couple of days, we're gonna enter a new year. But before we leave 2022, I still have one last video to share with you all. As a tradition, today we're gonna look back at what happened in the Indo-Pacific region in December 2022. I will not talk about Singapore's new submarine again, because I already did that last week. So, what other stories do we have this month? Without further ado, let's jump into the video. We're gonna start today's video with a story from Indonesia. The 28th Cooperation Afloat Readiness and Training or CARAT Indonesia was held in Surabaya and the Java Sea from 7 to 21 December. This year's iteration of CARAT Indonesia focused mostly on amphibious operations with an assured bilateral command and control center made up of Indonesia and the US service members. Vice Commander of US 7th Fleet said the purpose of the exercise is to make each navies more capable of defending their nations by practicing interoperability, honing capabilities, and strengthening relationships. The exercise features 3 distinct phases over 2 weeks. Phase 1 primarily takes place in the classroom setting with a series of subject matter expert exchange. These include topics from maritime domain awareness and intelligence, unmanned aircraft system, diving, underwater construction, and many more. Phase 2 includes practical application of the information shared in Phase 1, as well as building up the bilateral command and control or C2 center. Then in Phase 3, the bilateral C2 center will provide exercise control of the at-sea and beach landing operations by participating forces. For Phase 3, the Indonesian Navy deployed 6 warships, including 1 LPD, 2 frigates, 1 corvette, 1 LST, and 1 patrol boat, as well as landing elements of the Marine Corps, Marines Recon Unit Taifib, and the Navy Special Forces Kopaska, also their amphibious vehicles and helicopters. Meanwhile, the US Navy deployed 1 LHD USS Makin Island with embarked 13 Marine Expeditionary Unit and 1 LPD USS Anchorage. Not only that, the Indonesian Air Force F-16, USMC F-35, and US Navy P-8 were also involved during the exercise. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is probably the first time that the F-35 involved in an exercise in Indonesian airspace. Next, we have a story from the Philippines. It looks like Santa comes early to our Filipino brothers, because this month, they got 2 new strategic assets to better defend their nation. On 9 December, the Philippine President led a blessing ceremony of 2 attack helicopters from Turkey in Manila. The 2 Hilos were delivered in late November by 2 Turkish A400M and then assembled locally before they were handed over to the Philippine Air Force. The Philippine Air Force ordered 6 attack helicopters back in 2020 in a contract worth $275 million, including integrated logistic support and training. Last March, the first batch of 2 helicopters were delivered and declared fully operational in May, while the last batch of 2 helicopters are expected to be delivered next year. Then earlier this week, the long-awaited Sabrah light tanks finally arrived on Philippine soil. This new asset was paraded at the 87th founding anniversary of the AFP on 19 December, and soon it will strengthen the Philippine Army 1st Tank Battalion. The new tank is part of the Philippine Army Light Tank Acquisition Project under the revised AFP Modernization Program with a contract value worth 9.4 billion peso or around $170 million. Elbit system won the contract in 2020 and will deliver 18 Sabrah track tanks, 10 Pandur II wheeled tanks, an armored command vehicle, and armored recovery vehicle based on ASCO 2 platform, as well as support equipment and vehicles. The rest of the order is expected to be delivered between 2023 and 2024. I'm happy for our Filipino brothers. After decades of vacancy, now they have a tank unit again. And there's no better candidate to re-establish Philippines' lost armored capability than the Sabrah light tanks. Its weight, firepower, armor, and the technology inside it are suitable enough to meet the Philippine Army current and future needs. I can't wait to see the rest of the orders being delivered to the Philippines next year. Maybe someday, the Philippine and Indonesian Army can train together with our respective light and medium tanks. Unfortunately, we have a sad story coming from Thailand. Last Sunday, Thai warship HTMS Sukhothai sank with 105 crew on board after losing power in a storm. Since Sunday night, the Thai Navy and Air Force have spent days searching for survivors with 4 Navy ships and several helicopters and UAVs to scan a 50 square kilometer of the oceans. As of the writing of this video, 76 crew have been rescued in total with 6 dead, while 23 sailors are still missing. The Thai Navy said HTMS Sukhothai had been on day 2 of a routine patrol when she was hit by a storm, flooding her hull and the electricity room, cutting the power. It is not yet known what caused the ship to flood, and the Navy said they would launch an investigation. My deepest condolences for the family of the sailors who lost their lives. Moving on to Japan, after months of debate, the Japanese government has approved 3 documents laying out Japan's new defense and security policies. The documents outline a tough new stance in the region with China, North Korea, and Russia. Most notable policy on the documents is a so-called counter-strike capability that allows Japan to hit enemy bases and command and control targets with longer range standoff missile. Moreover, the current administration said that they will increase defense spending to about 2% of the GDP by fiscal year 2027. That will bring the total amount to 43 trillion yen, or around $315 billion, to be allocated for the next 5 years. The Japanese Prime Minister said the money will come from tax increases to be imposed in 2024 or later. A political analyst said that the new policies signifies Japan signaling for a more active engagement in the region, in which directly or indirectly will take pressure off of US forces in the Pacific. The policy documents also describe China as Japan's biggest strategic challenge, and it drew an immediate angry reaction from Beijing, accusing Japan of hyping an imaginary China threat as an excuse for military buildup. In my opinion, Japan made the right move. In an era where your potential enemies expanding their militaries and increasing the amount of weapons that could someday be aimed and fire at you, keeping your decades-old pacifist stance is the last thing you wanna do. The threats are evolving, and Japan must adapt with the ongoing geopolitics situation. As long as Japan doesn't attack first, I think there's no problem with the latest shift of their defense and security policies. For the last story of the day, I have a story from the US. In early December, the US unveiled its latest stealth bombers at a ceremony in California. The B-21 Raider is the first US strategic bombers to be produced in 3 decades. It is designed to fly with and at some point without a crew, carrying nuclear as well as conventional weapons. Expected to replace the B-1B Lancer and B-2 Spirit, the B-21 Raider is expected to be in the skies as early as next year and will be the backbone of the US Air Force Future Bomber Force along with the B-52. The US Air Force is planning to order 100 aircraft with an estimated price tag of $753 million. A lot cheaper than the B-2 Spirit that costs more than $2 billion per aircraft. However, the unit cost might increase if the US reduces the purchase order. If you want to know more about Singapore's newest submarine, the Invincible class, you can watch it right here or by clicking the link in the description below. And that's it for today. 5 stories in the Indo-Pacific region in December 2022. What do you think about these stories? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching everyone. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year!